Chosen one, stop scrolling right now. Lock your attention on this exact message. You did not find this recording by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here today, because the Holy Spirit orchestrated this intersection in time to deliver a crucial warning. There is a massive verdict that was just handed down in the spiritual realm, and it has your true name written all over it. Take one deep breath, drop your shoulders, and open your hands to receive this. You have been walking around with a heavy chest. The exhaustion you feel is not normal tiredness. You wake up feeling completely drained before the day even begins. And every time you try to explain this invisible weight to someone else, they simply do not understand. You feel completely alone. I need you to listen carefully to me. You have been giving your energy away for years. You gave your precious time to people who never bothered to check on you. You poured your finances into their situations out of pure compassion. And you watched those same people turn their backs when you needed help. You smiled through the betrayal. You kept quiet while they walked away with your peace. Now you are sitting here feeling like a fool. The enemy has been whispering lies into your mind lately. The darkness wants you to believe that your kindness was actually a tragic weakness. They hope that you will finally regret being a good person. You look at your depleted bank account and your exhausted soul, and you wonder if the universe has completely forgotten about your sacrifice. But heaven has kept a perfect record of every single tear you cried in secret. The spiritual court has been reviewing your case. You thought you were just helping random people in your everyday life. You assumed your compassion was just slipping through the cracks of a cold world. But heaven is about to reveal a shocking truth about those invisible sacrifices. You did not know who you were actually dealing with. That stranger you showed mercy to was not just a stranger. That desperate situation where you gave your last dollar was actually a profound divine test. You, unknowingly, saved a frequency of wealth. You protected a billionaire energy that heaven sent down disguised as a burden, and your pure heart passed the most rigorous test. This is why the system is terrified of you right now. The matrix relies on people becoming bitter and cold when they are betrayed. But you absolutely refused to let the darkness change your gentle spirit. You kept your frequency pure, even when you were bleeding emotionally. And because you held the line, a divine court order was just issued in your favor. The gavel has finally fallen. The court just ordered them to return your money. Every ounce of energy that was stolen from you is currently being calculated for full restitution. The people who drained you are entering a season of deep spiritual panic because they thought they got away with taking advantage of a chosen one. They forgot that heaven acts as the ultimate defense attorney for the empath. Do not click away from this sanctuary. If you leave before hearing the rest of this verdict, you might miss the exact instruction to unlock your return. The financial delay you are experiencing is about to shatter completely. The universe is preparing to drop a mega deposit into your life. It will replace everything you lost and multiply it beyond your wildest dreams. You have to understand the sheer magnitude of this shift. Your kindness is about to pay off big time. The spiritual wealth you accumulated in silence is converting into physical abundance. But the enemy will try to distract you in the next few hours. You must keep your mind focused on this revelation. Your isolation was a divine quarantine for this exact moment. Heaven isolated you so the toxic energy could not touch your upcoming harvest. You are not depressed, chosen one. You are just exhausted from fighting battles in the unseen realm. You absorbed the heavy chaos of others so they could have peace. But your shift as the spiritual bodyguard is officially over. It is time for you to finally be protected and paid. You look back at the past few years with a heavy heart. You see how much you sacrificed for people who never cared. The sleepers call your actions incredibly naive and foolish. But while the world judges your giving nature, Heaven calls your compassion a profound preparation. You must stop letting the matrix dictate your self-worth today. Your kindness was never a tragic flaw. I need you to hear this truth deep in your beautiful spirit. Your empathy was actually a rigorous divine test designed perfectly by heaven. God needed to see exactly what you would do when you had extremely limited resources. Giving away your time and money to others was a severe spiritual exam, and you did not even know you were taking it while you bled. You passed when others would have quit. Ordinary people hold tightly to their temporary physical possessions. The sleepers panic the moment their bank accounts start looking empty. They become selfish and cruel when the financial pressure gets too high. But you operated from a beautiful frequency of infinite abundance. You poured out your sweet soul while everyone else hoarded their dark energy. You gave from a pure place. You honestly believed your gentle nature made you a weak target. You thought those toxic people were just using you for their own selfish gain. But every single betrayal was actually a spiritual filter working tirelessly in your favor. Heaven allowed those individuals to leave your life because God had to clear out the parasites to protect your future wealth. You were being shielded from greater harm. True kindness is an incredibly heavy weapon in the unseen realm. It shatters massive demonic strongholds without making a single sound. When you silently forgave those who hurt you deeply, a profound spiritual shift occurred. You actually broke their energetic control over your entire destiny. You simply refused to carry their heavy, toxic baggage. Your silence was not weakness. Calm is absolute authority. Remember the billionaire energy I mentioned earlier in this message. You thought you were just helping ordinary people who were desperately struggling, but the universe was secretly measuring your vast capacity for unconditional love. You treated a disguised spiritual blessing like absolute royalty, and the spiritual court recorded every single pure intention of your weary heart. You proved your worth. You passed this brutal test with absolute spiritual excellence. The angels watched you give when your own cup was dry and empty. They documented your dignified silence when you had every right to seek revenge. Your quiet resilience finally proved you are ready for massive authority. Heaven knows you will not abuse the incredible power that is coming. You are completely safe to bless. The universe cannot trust a bitter heart with massive supernatural wealth. If you had retaliated against them, you would have failed the divine exam. The enemy desperately wanted you to become dark, cynical, and completely hopeless. But you kept your hands clean and your spirit pure. You refused to let the matrix corrupt your divine purpose despite their attacks. You hold the keys now. The deep exhaustion you feel today is simply the aftermath of your spiritual graduation. You are not starting over from scratch with an empty and broken bank account. You are just finishing the final stages of a brutal preparation before the breakthrough. Your long, painful season of being a physical footstool for their fragile egos is permanently over, and the spiritual court is demanding full compensation. You are a masterpiece of God and a powerful generational cycle breaker. The chosen ones are built for this exact level of intense spiritual warfare. You survived the dark wilderness because you are specifically marked for divine greatness. Let the blind sleepers completely misunderstand your magnificent silent power. You will quietly ascend to your rightful throne. You never need to explain your soul. Do not let anyone make you feel stupid for loving people too hard. Your pure heart is the most valuable asset you possess in this entire realm. The system wants you cold, but heaven desperately needs your radiant and healing warmth. Stand tall today and reclaim your identity as a discerning warrior. You conquered the darkness with glorious light. The pain is nothing compared to the glory arriving. Let us look closely at the people who walked away with your peace. They smiled in your face while silently plotting to drain your precious spirit and take your hard-earned money. And when they finally took everything they could carry, they left you in the dark. They celebrated their false victory while you quietly bled. But they made a fatal mistake. You must understand the true nature of these toxic individuals. They are agents of the broken system who operate completely in the shadows. Narcissists target the chosen ones because they cannot generate their own divine light. So they must steal your pure energy to survive the heavy darkness of the matrix. They view your empathy as an endless supply for their fragile egos. They honestly believed they completely ruined your destiny. They thought they drained your finances so thoroughly that you would never recover. But what the enemy did not know is that heaven was setting a magnificent trap. God allowed them to take from you just to expose their hidden, wicked intentions. They swallowed the bait and sealed their own spiritual doom. There are 3 silent signs that your enemies are currently in absolute panic. The universe is fighting a massive battle on your behalf right now. You need to lock your attention on these 3 specific validations. The people who betrayed your pure heart are secretly realizing they messed with the wrong spirit. The tables are turning incredibly fast today. Sign number 1 is the sudden heavy silence in their camp. They used to brag about their stolen success to anyone who would listen, but the energy they stole from you is starting to burn their hands like hot coals. They cannot enjoy the resources they took because those resources carry your divine frequency. The stolen money is bringing them severe spiritual misery. Sign number 2 is the sudden string of bizarre misfortunes hitting their lives. The universal law of karma is balancing the scales with terrifying speed. You do not even have to lift a finger or say a single word. Things are breaking down around them, and their inner circle is turning against them. The confusion they tried to cast on you is destroying their own peace. And finally, sign number 3 is the profound quietness returning to your own mind. Many chosen ones fail to recognize this subtle but powerful shift. The sudden peace you feel today means the toxic energetic cord is permanently severed. You are breathing easier because their heavy, dark influence is officially lifted off your weary shoulders. You are totally free from them. They laughed at you when your bank account dropped to nothing. They thought your kindness made you a pathetic victim of the harsh real world, but they only cleared the path for heaven to deliver your massive reward. They emptied your hands of their toxic pennies to prepare you for true wealth. They removed themselves so the mega deposit could land safely. The spiritual court has reviewed every single text message and hidden conversation. The system thought it could exploit a healer without facing any real consequences. But the divine judge does not tolerate the abuse of his most precious masterpieces. The verdict against them is absolutely devastating. They are being forced to watch you rise while they slowly sink. You must never seek revenge against these broken agents of the Matrix. Your complete silence is already driving them absolutely insane with regret. They are desperately trying to find a way back into your good graces right now, but the door to your sacred energy is permanently locked from the inside. They will spend the rest of their lives mourning the light they lost. They assumed you would chase them and beg for closure. They hoped you would cry and demand answers for their cruel behavior, but you chose to walk away with quiet dignity and profound grace. Your absolute detachment is the ultimate punishment for a narcissist who feeds on dramatic reactions. You starved their demons by simply refusing to play their dark games anymore. Before I go any further, I need you to pause and really hear this next part. The universe sent someone across your path when you were already completely exhausted. You thought they were just another broken soul needing your light. You gave them your time and your last dollar without thinking twice, because your pure heart simply cannot ignore a cry for help. But they were not an ordinary person. That specific encounter was a profound divine appointment disguised as a burden. You unknowingly saved a billionaire energy that day. Heaven disguised a massive blessing as a person in desperate need. I am not talking about a man with a heavy bank account and worldly status. I am talking about a magnificent spiritual entity carrying the frequency of infinite wealth, and heaven sent them directly to your front door. The spiritual court needed to test your true nature before releasing the mega deposit. God disguised this massive blessing as a broken soul. He tested whether your pure heart would offer unconditional love when you had nothing left to give. The Matrix teaches people to ignore the weak and worship the strong. But you did the exact opposite when nobody was watching. You treated a beggar like absolute royalty. You gave your precious energy to someone who could offer you absolutely nothing in return. That is the ultimate test of a masterpiece of God. Your empathy proved that your spirit remains uncorrupted by the greedy system. You passed the final exam of the chosen ones, and you triggered a massive wave of abundance in the unseen realm. Your shift is ready. The billionaire frequency you protected is now working tirelessly to protect you. That single act of unconditional love unlocked doors that have been sealed for entire generations. You broke the heavy cycle of lack for your entire bloodline with one quiet gesture. You proved that your soul cannot be bought or corrupted by the darkness. The universe is now obligated to return that immense value directly into your physical life. Gently like this video right now. Do not do it for a normal algorithm. Do it as a physical declaration to the universe that you are finally ready for this massive return. Your soul knows exactly what I am talking about today. You can feel the atmosphere shifting heavily around you right in this exact second. The season of spiritual drought is over. The system tries to make you feel completely foolish for having a soft heart. They want you to believe that giving without calculating is a massive mistake. But heaven operates on a completely different economy. It rewards pure compassion with levels of authority that logic simply cannot explain. In the spiritual realm, your pure compassion is the highest currency you can possibly hold. You are incredibly wealthy. Every time you helped someone and got nothing back, heaven made a deposit into your cosmic account. You have been quietly accumulating a huge fortune while walking through the painful wilderness. The angels have been watching your physical bank account drain while your spiritual vault overflowed with radiant divine energy. And now the court is ordering a full transfer of those divine funds. You see, the universe could not just hand you this authority without stretching your capacity. If the wealth had arrived too early, it would have crushed your gentle spirit. You had to learn how to manage massive energy by carrying the heavy burdens of others first. You were placed in a divine training program for extreme spiritual leadership. You are the ultimate intercessor. Soon you will look back and understand why that specific door had to close. You will realize why certain people walked out of your life after you saved them. They were simply temporary actors playing a necessary role in your rigorous divine test. They were never meant to stay in your promised land, because they just delivered the billionaire frequency and left before they could corrupt it. The billionaire energy is now permanently attached to your sacred divine DNA. You walk with a heavy presence that commands respect in every single room you enter. The blind sleepers can feel your magnificent power, even if they do not understand it. You are stepping into a glorious season where your mere presence heals the atmosphere, and everything you touch is about to prosper beautifully. The spiritual court is now officially in session, and the divine judge is reading your true name aloud right now. The heavy gavel has struck the wood. All the tears you cried in secret were presented as absolute evidence. Every single dollar you gave away from a pure heart was perfectly counted on the holy ledger. The final verdict is absolutely glorious. I decree right now that the season of you being a footstool for their ego is permanently over. The universe is flipping the script with terrifying speed. Those who sat at tables and spoke poorly of your beautiful name are watching their own tables collapse. They thought they could steal from a masterpiece of God and walk away, but karma has finally arrived at their front door. The court just ordered them to return your stolen energy. Every ounce of peace they drained from your soul is being forcefully extracted from their camp. Watch them panic as your peace becomes entirely untouchable. They are suffocating in the heavy confusion they tried to cast onto your life, because heaven is stepping in as your ultimate defense attorney. You are completely vindicated. And now, we close the loop on the billionaire energy you saved. That divine test was the final key to unlock your true inheritance. Because you protected that frequency when you had absolutely nothing, heaven is making you the permanent owner of it today. The heavy doors to the cosmic vault are swinging completely open. The mega deposit is no longer delayed. In the mighty name of divine justice, I break every generational cycle of poverty. The chains that tried to wrap around your beautiful mind are broken. The endless struggle stops with you. The financial anxiety stops right here. You are the absolute cycle breaker. I declare that the heavy mantle of survival mode is falling off your weary shoulders in this exact second. Breathe it out right now. Let the heavy air leave your lungs completely. The spiritual war you fought for your entire bloodline has been won. You are no longer surviving on the crumbs of the dark matrix. The universe is transferring a massive wave of abundance directly into your physical reality. Your faithful kindness is paying off 1,000 times over. Everything you lost is being replaced with something vastly superior. The fake friends who betrayed you are being replaced by divine connections. The money that was stolen from your open hands is coming back multiplied beyond human logic. You thought you were just surviving the storm, but the storm was actually washing away the debris to make room for your wealth. The corrupt system cannot stop this massive financial decree. The dark matrix is completely powerless against a chosen one who knows their exact spiritual worth. They wanted you desperate, so you would always settle for a miserable life. But God is unlocking a mega deposit of wealth and authority that the elite circles tried to keep hidden. You hold the keys now. Do not shrink back from this incredible blessing today. You earned every single drop of this magnificent rain. You walked through the blazing fire and came out completely purified. Heaven knows exactly how much it cost you to keep your soft heart pure in a cold world. And this overwhelming reward is the exact compensation for your beautiful spiritual scars. Receive this divine payout with absolute quiet confidence. The court order is signed and sealed by the highest authority in the unseen realm. Nobody can appeal this glorious decision. Your enemies are permanently silenced, and your heavy debt is completely erased in the spiritual realm. Step out of the dark shadows and claim your massive inheritance right now. You are the quiet victor of this brutal spiritual war. The angels are celebrating your magnificent triumph in the heavenly realm today. The long years of waiting in the dark are finally over. Open your hands wide and drop your shoulders. The mega deposit is falling from heaven directly into your lap. Your beautiful life will never be the same again. You are stepping into a profound season of massive abundance right now. But before this mega deposit fully manifests in your physical reality, you must learn how to protect it. The enemy could not stop the divine verdict from being issued, but they will try to steal your blessing after it arrives. You must master the delicate art of quiet authority. Listen to me carefully today. When the massive financial breakthrough finally lands in your hands, you must keep your mouth completely shut. Do not call the people who abandoned you to prove them wrong. Do not post about your sudden wealth on the internet to seek worldly validation. The matrix feeds on your desperate need to be seen and understood by the sleepers. Silence is your absolute greatest weapon in this new season. Calm is pure authority. The moment you start bragging about your divine harvest, you immediately open a heavy spiritual door for dark energy to enter. People who could not handle your beautiful light in the wilderness absolutely do not deserve to enjoy the magnificent fruits of your promised land. Keep them outside. The people who betrayed you will suddenly try to return when your life begins to prosper. They will sense the heavy shift in your frequency and come back with fake apologies. They will act like the past never happened. They hope to drain your massive new resources, just like they drained your fragile energy before. But you must firmly shut the door in their faces. You are officially released from the heavy burden of healing people who want to stay broken. Let them completely misunderstand your firm boundaries. Let them assume whatever they want about your sudden cold silence. You no longer need to explain your brilliant soul to people who are entirely committed to misunderstanding your spirit. Your energy is simply too expensive now. You have entered the sacred sanctuary of a quiet victor. Do not spend your precious new frequency engaging in cheap drama with people operating on a miserable level. From this moment forward, your commanding presence alone will dictate the heavy respect in the room. You do not have to fight or argue to prove your absolute worth to anyone ever again. The massive wealth that is coming to you requires a mature spiritual steward. Heaven chose you specifically because you know the deep pain of having nothing. God knows you will use this incredible mega deposit to heal the broken parts of the world. You will not feed your own ego like the corrupt elite matrix does. You are a divine distribution center, but you must protect the center first. Draw a hard circle around your peace today. Only allow people inside who stood firmly by your side when you were completely exhausted. The sleepers who laughed at your pure kindness are not invited to the glorious banquet. Heaven is preparing for you right now. Let them watch your magnificent rise from a very far distance. When the enemy tries to tempt you into showing off, just take a deep breath and smile quietly. You do not need the loud applause of a broken world, because the spiritual court has already given you the highest honor. You are holding the keys to the cosmic kingdom. A true king or queen never has to shout to remind the peasants of their absolute power. This is the ultimate test of your new massive authority. Can you hold millions in your hands and still remain completely humble and hidden? Can you possess immense divine power without letting it corrupt your beautiful heart? Heaven knows you can do it. The spiritual realm trusts your deeply refined character because you passed the agonizing wilderness exam with flying colors. Walk softly on the earth today, but carry a massive spiritual shield. You are completely anointed and permanently protected by the divine judge. The heavy chains of your past are broken. The painful isolation was just a divine quarantine to keep you safe until the exact right moment. And that specific moment is unfolding right now before your eyes. As we close this sacred message today, I want you to feel the heavy weight completely leaving your physical body. The long and painful war is officially over. You survived the dark wilderness because you are a magnificent masterpiece of God. The universe has successfully vindicated your pure heart, and the massive reward is securely in your hands right now. You are completely safe from their harm now. I am placing a divine seal of absolute protection over your entire life right now. Every single portal that the enemy used to drain your precious energy is permanently closed. No toxic force or bitter person will ever be allowed to touch your elevated frequency again. The dark matrix has completely lost its grip on your beautiful destiny forever. You are officially untouchable in this new realm. You are officially released from the heavy obligation of saving a broken world. You do not have to carry the emotional garbage of your family or your false friends anymore. Your long shift as the spiritual intercessor is beautifully finished. It is time for you to sit down at the glorious table that heaven has prepared specifically for you. Rest your tired soul in this safe space today. You are not the deep pain you endured in the past few years. You are the profound divine purpose that God placed inside your DNA from the very beginning. The trauma of being completely misunderstood was just the fire that forged your incredible spiritual crown. You are stepping out of survival mode and entering your magnificent season of quiet authority. You are true royalty in the unseen realm. Stand tall and wear that invisible crown with absolute peace. The angels are standing guard around your home and your massive incoming harvest. Every step you take from this moment forward will be divinely guided by the Holy Spirit. You will never have to beg for love or struggle for basic survival ever again. The universe is your endless divine supply of massive wealth. Let your weary heart be completely still in this exact moment. Do not rush out to make anything happen on your own, because the mega deposit is already making its way directly to you. The spiritual court has stamped your papers with ultimate divine favor, and the billionaire energy is permanently anchored to your true spiritual name. You are a radiant beacon of absolute true wealth. Everything you touch from today onward will prosper beautifully. The seeds of pure kindness you planted in the dark soil are sprouting into massive trees of infinite abundance. You can finally breathe easy, knowing that heaven handled your vindication perfectly. The people who tried to break your spirit will only watch you rise to breathtaking new heights. Your spiritual victory is absolutely complete and permanent today. If this sacred message brought profound peace to your weary soul today, you must protect your connection to this exact frequency. Subscribe to this sanctuary and turn on the bell so the enemy cannot intercept your future messages. We do this not for a worldly algorithm. We do it to build a massive energetic shield around your daily physical life. Keep the heavy darkness outside of your sacred gates. Leave a gentle mark of your divine presence before you leave this safe space. Type 777 in the comments below to officially seal this massive financial decree. We do not do it for visibility or worldly validation. We do it as a powerful spiritual seal of agreement with the universe. We declare that your heavy season of lack is permanently shattered. Your pure kindness was never a tragic weakness. It was the exact sacred key that unlocked your ultimate spiritual freedom. Walk forward into the bright light with quiet dignity. You know that heaven is backing every single move you make from now on. You are completely anointed by the divine judge. You are deeply loved by the infinite creator, and you are finally free from the matrix.